9 and 4. Welcome to the library. I am the recorder, your guide to Jam'mar and her many realms. From the nations and people to the myriad threats and challenges they face as they expand further into the stars. Today, we are going to look at how the important duties of education are handled within the realms. This topic was suggested by a member of my locals.com community, where all entries are available days before their general release. If you are interested in joining, links are in the description. And thank you for your support, no matter what form it may take. Likes, shares, and comments all go to helping grow the channel, and in turn, the number of people that might discover their new favorite setting. So thank you again, my perceptive patrons, regular visitors, and of course, new guests of the library. Now, on to today's topic. At first glance, the educational level of your average citizen of the realm seems incongruous with the more fantastical fantasy and vaguely medieval Renaissance cultures and settings one most often sees when looking at the realms. On the average, most speak 2 or more languages and are often well versed in many varied subjects from the practical to the esoteric. Literate and mathematically astute, with the ability to intake and synthesize information reasonably well, your average citizen of the realms is armed with an impressive amount of knowledge and often the skills to apply it. But how is this accomplished? There are, of course, many paths to knowledge, but it does tend to start in the home and at an early age. Thanks to easily obtainable magical or technological items, keeping and preserving large collections of books, scrolls, and other materials is a relatively simple matter. This allows families to collect and pass down impressive libraries of knowledge for the next generation to add to, teach from, and pass on. Allowing for parents to easily instruct their children in the basics of reading, writing, and science and mathematics, as well as basic introductions to magical concepts and tests to determine any proclivities or talents in these varied areas. Normally, by the child is reaching their teen years, relatively speaking, as different races have different ages for this point. They are most likely capable of living and sustaining themselves on their own, so far as raw knowledge is concerned. However, this is the point in the path of knowledge that will vary wildly for most, not only for individual cultural reasons, but practical ones as well. Many will enter into apprenticeships and find their education turned to the matters surrounding the trade and business of their new career. Others will begin to attend more formalized but generalized education centers. These centers is where we begin to see the differences between the races and cultures begin to manifest, as each civilization has a different take or tradition on this part of the process. While across the span of the civilization of Jam'mar and her realms, the manner of structure and the form may vary, the end result tends not to. That result being, most who complete their apprenticeships or the equivalent for their chosen path in life, being not only prepared to fully enter into those fields, but also ready to adapt and grow, not only in that profession, but as an individual within a community. From the colleges and university of the elves, to the elder halls of the dwarves, as well as across the numerous variants of such in almost every large population center, there will be multiple institutions of higher learning or training available for nearly anyone with the drive. While each tends to be specialized to a particular area of study, there is a great overlap depending on the subject matters being pursued. Admission to these institutions tends to be merit-based, with a few exceptions in the form of aristocratic finishing schools for those that are destined to live the life of court and politics, these being nearly the exclusive domain of noble families and royalty. Smaller communities will instead see local elders, semi-retired professionals, and members of various churches and temples come together to provide a general base of further education, as well as a road to the larger and more specialized institution for those with the drive and talent to require them. It should not be forgotten that most, instead of attending a formalized institution, will find themselves training in an apprenticeship, where they are typically not only taught the craft itself, but also the entirety of the business. From the logistics and financial details, to how to best engage in advertising and marketing, to integrating into a community. This holistic method ensures that not only will the student be a good craftsman, but more than capable of finding success, no matter where they choose to practice their skills. The number of trades that are taught in this way should not be underestimated, as most, if not all, the lines of education offered within the more formal institutions are personally available via this more direct system of master and apprentice. Magical, technological, as well as paths of the pious can be all followed in this way, with furthering education and new developments being incorporated easily thanks to the constant flow of trade and information that the realms enjoy between her peoples and lands. Such innovations or improvements tend to take less than a few years to disseminate across the many planets and systems of the realms. Up to a decade at most for those populations living far into the wild realms or lawless lands. All of this is further supported by the previously mentioned ability to collect and maintain a vast personal collection of materials for further self-education, allowing nearly every citizen that wishes to grow themselves the means to do so. Additional supplementation in the form of traveling sages, priests, clerics, and other experts willing to pass on hard-earned insights to those that would listen adds further to the opportunities one has for self-improvement. And this is where we will bring this basic look at the education within the realms of Jam'mR to a close. As we can see, education in the realms of Jam'mR takes on many differing yet effective forms, and produces students capable of not only performing in the ever-changing and evolving worlds and communities that are the realms, but matching those very evolutions and changes with personal growth and adaptations of their own. Knowledge is power, and the citizens of Jam'mR are well armed indeed, as these traditions of education and investment into maintaining and expanding them have always been a high priority of the ruling classes, as well as the common man. I want to thank you for your time and your interest. Please don't forget to leave a like, a comment if you're so inclined, and if you wish, to share the entry about. Every bit is a massive boon. Thank you. Perceptive patrons, regular visitors, and new guests of the library, I have been the recorder. And until you make your way back to the library for your next entry, by the 9 and 4, be well, take care of yourselves and each other. If you'd like to contribute to the further exploration and explanation of the realms, please consider leaving a comment, a like, and sharing the video around. I read all the comments and make efforts to reply to each. Thank you for helping to grow the channel, and know I look forward to each and every one of your comments. Other methods of support can be found in the channel's description. Thank you for watching,